Hi guys, welcome back to the next video. Today we're going to look at the evolution of the Scottish Football League. It was set up in 1886. The Committee of the Scottish League held a meeting in Glasgow on the 13th of May 1890. They decided to go ahead with the league, despite there would be no qualifying competition for the Scottish Cup. They decided to play the matches when the teams were not required to play Scottish Cup matches, so that there would be no direct conflict with the Scottish Football Association. It would last for a whole season. There were 13 clubs to begin with. At the first meeting, the league received a blow when St Bernard's decided to drop out. That left 12 clubs. Another club decided to drop out, and this left 11 clubs. The committee decided to carry on with an imbalance, and we'll see a bit later. The league would comprise of a number of clubs, and on the 3rd of June 1890 the league committee met with all the chairmen of the 11 clubs, and the season fixtures were arranged. The committee is as follows. Chairman was Mr A. Lawrence of Dumbarton Football Club. Vice chairman was Mr G. Henderson of Cowlares Football Club. Secretary was Mr J. H. McLaughlin of Celtic Football Club, and the treasurer was Mr Wilton of Rangers Football Club. 2 trophy. The Scottish Football League has a similar pyramid to the English Football League, and we are only going to be looking at the Scottish Premiership, the Scottish Championship, Scottish League and Scottish League 2. As you can see, underneath that is the Highland League and the Lowland League. There's 18 clubs in the Highland League and they play 34 games. 16 clubs in the Lowland League, they play 30 games, and the 2 champions from the Highland League and the Lowland League play off to meet the team that finishes bottom of league. Like I said, the evolution of the Scottish Football League in 1890 to the present day, the league was decided to carry ahead with the matches to be played alternately away from the Scottish League, the Scottish Football Association's cup competition, just like it was in England all those years ago. These were the clubs that first entered. So you've got the 3rd Lanark Rifle Volunteers, who will be looked at as the 3rd LRV. They were based in Glasgow. You had Abercorn from Paisley, Cambuslang from the Cambuslang area, Celtic from Glasgow, Cowlares from Glasgow, Dumbarton from Dumbarton, Harder Midlothian from the capital Edinburgh, Rangers from Glasgow, Renton from the town of Renton, St Mirren from Paisley, and the Vale of Leven from Alexandria. The 16th of August 1890 was a weekend that was designated as the first weekend of the Scottish Football League. As you can see, there were 4 matches where Cambuslang beat Vale of Leven, Celtic lost at home to Renton, Dumbarton drew 1-1 with Cowlares, and Rangers beat Harder Midlothian at Ibrox. St Mirren and the 3rd Lanark Rifle Volunteers, or the 3rd LRV, played their first matches the following weekend, and Abercorn played their first match after week 3. As you can see, Renton were expelled after 4 or 5 matches with a 1 win, 1 draw and 3 losses, with 10 goals scored, 13 against, with 3 points for paying players illegally. Their records were expunged. Also, Celtic, 3rd Lanark and Cowlares were also docked 4 points each for fielding illegible players. At the end of the season, the bottom 3 clubs, as you can see, all had to go up for re-election. St Mirren and the Vale of Leven were able to be re-elected, but unfortunately Cowlares weren't, and they were relegated and not re-elected. So as you can see, Renton were still put on the table at the end of the season. Their matches were expunged. They were expelled because they paid their players. The players in Scotland, the same as England at the time, weren't paid as professionals. They were paid a wage for playing the game, and then they had to claim expenses. As you can see from the table, Dumbarton and Glasgow Rangers were joint champions. Celtic had 4 points deducted, which wouldn't have made any difference because they only had 25 points. There were no time for a replay match. There was a match that was arranged between Dumbarton and Rangers. That drew 2-2 after 90 minutes. And like I said, there was no other time. So they were both claimed as joint champions at the time. There was no goal difference. There was no goal average in Scotland until later on. So even though Dumbarton, when you look at the table, would today be crowned the champions because of their goal difference is better than Rangers, at that time they were both declared joint champions. Also, with some countries where if you have two clubs that finish on the same number of points, they look at their head-to-head matches. Again, there wasn't picked up back in 1890, but Dunfermline had beaten Rangers 5-1 at their ground, and Rangers won 4-2 at their ground. So if they'd had that as a tiebreaker, then Dunfermline would have still been champions of Scotland at that time. So as we can see, we've got a table of all the results. The biggest win of the season was Celtic's 9-1 win over the Vale 11 at Celtic. The aggregate was a 12-goal thriller between Cowlairs and Abercorn, of which Cowlairs won 7-5. In the first season, there was 90 matches. The top goal scorer was Jack Bell of Dumbarton with 20 goals. The longest winning run was 8 games by Dumbarton, and unbeaten was 14. Remember, they only played for 18 matches in the season. Winless run was St Mirren with 8, and the losing run was 7 games for Abercorn. Like I said, goal average wasn't introduced until the 1920-21-22 season, and it was replaced by goal difference in the 1971-72 season, a lot later than their English counterparts. 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, nothing for a loss in Scotland was retained until the 1994-95 season, from what I can find. If anyone can find it being earlier, if they could just drop it down in the comments and let me know, that would be brilliant. Thank you. League structure over the year, as you can see, Tier 1 will in all sorts be the Premier League, Tier 2 the Championship, Tier 3 League 1, Tier 4 League 2. But as you can see, between 1890 and 1893 there was only the Scottish League. They had 2 divisions between 1893 and 1915. After the war until 1921 they reverted back to 1 division. In 21 to 23 they had 2 divisions. For 3 years, between 23 and 26, they had 3 divisions. And then in 1926 until 1946, so just after the war, we had 2 divisions, but Division A and Division B. This was the Scottish Football League logo from 1890 when it was established until it was rebranded in 2013 and it became Scottish Premier League. As you can see again, after the war to the mid-50s, they had 3 divisions, A, B and C. 55 to 75, just the 2, Division 1, Division 2. Then in 1975, the top teams in the Scottish First Division decided they wanted to go it alone. And the Premier League was established with Division 1, Division 2. Between 1998 and 2013, again, there were 4 divisions, the Premier League, Division 1, Division 2 and Division 3. And then when it was rebranded in 2013, you had the Premiership, the Championship, League 1 and League 2. This is the logo that's being used now for Scottish leagues, the Scottish Premiership. This is the trophy for the Premier League winners, which resides at Celtic Park at the moment, and that's been in use since the 1975-76 season, of which Rangers won it then. The Scottish Championship trophy, the Scottish League 1 trophy, and the Scottish League 2 trophy, which are similar in build. As you can see, Scottish football have had many different sponsors. Between 85 and 88 it was the Fine Fair League. Between 88 and 92 was the B&Q League. Between 92 and 94 there was no sponsor. 94 to 98 was Bell's Whiskey, a brewing company. Again, the following season no, and then Bell's took it up again until 2006. 2006, 2007 no sponsor, and 2007 to 2013 was Irn-Bru. I cannot find a sponsor from 2013. If anybody can, again, if you could just drop it into the comments, that would be brilliant for that. All 4 trophies: Scottish Premiership, Championship, League 1 and League 2. If you've got this far, guys, would you like to just subscribe to the channel? It helps the channel to develop, be shown to a wider audience. Hit that like button and give me a thumbs up so that you can get notification of when I drop new videos. Any comments about what you would like done in the future, could you drop into the comments for me? That would be